Hello. So we'll start the Java tutorials. We'll start with a simple Hello World program first of all. To write the Java code, I'll be using Sublime Text Editor. You can use any type of code editor that you want. You can use VS Code, Notepad++, Atom, or Sublime, or whatever you want. So to write Java programs, you have to save them in a file that ends with a .java extension. So since this is a introductory program, I will not be telling you what some of the keywords mean. We'll first just try to get used to the basic structure and syntax of a Java program, how it works, how it is executed. So let's start. So first of all, let me just create a folder on my desktop, and okay, so I'll call it Java tutorials. Cool. I hope I didn't make a typo. I think it's right. So let me create a new folder here, which will be called Hello World. That's where we'll be storing um, the file which contains the code to execute the Hello World program. So yeah, okay. Now, yeah, let's save this file. So we'll be saving this file in, yes, Java tutorials, Hello World. Let's call this file hello.java. Why.java? Because this is a Java program. So we'll be storing in the file that ends with a .java extension. I hope that's clear. Now let's actually try to what happened. Okay, hello.java. Yeah, cool. So you see, we have created a file hello.java. Now we'll try to execute a simple hello world program in Java. So Java is an object oriented language, and we have stuff like classes in Java. So every program is written within a class. Let's create a class that will be called hello. So why did I name my class hello? So in Java programming, we have a convention that the name of the class, usually the name of the class is the same as the name of the file that the program is written in. I think that is done to avoid any type of confusion. Imagining, because because unlike in languages like C++, where you make a where you make a imagining we write a C++ code. For people who are familiar with C++, they will understand it well. So imagining we wrote a C++ code in a .cpp file, and then we try to compile it. Then the C++ compiler gives us a .exe file, supposing we are running it in a Windows compiler. But in Java, that does not happen. Java has a feature of platform independence. When we try to compile this .java file, we do not get a platform specific file like a .exe file for Windows. We get a .class file that is called as the bytecode. Okay, so the name of the class file is the same as the whatever we keep the name here. So to avoid any confusion between the .java file and the .class file, we usually keep them the same name. So it's easier to understand that, yeah, this class belongs to this Java file. Hope that makes sense. So let's move on to the next part. Now, for people who are familiar with languages like C++, they know that we write a code within a main function. So we write a code within the main function. We create a main function and we write a code within it, and then it runs. For people who are familiar with languages like Python, they do not really know because Python doesn't have a main function. Now it will be very simple for people who are not familiar with C++ or Java or programming in general. We have to keep in mind that in languages like C++ and Java, there exists a main function. And when we try to compile a .java file, the compiler first of all looks for the main function and executes the code that is written in the main function. So for example, the syntax is usually different. Of course, is different in Java and C++. So let's write a main function. So we'll be writing the hello world code, the code to execute the hello world on the console to in within the main function. Let's create the main function. So this might seem a bit overwhelming, but it's very easy and you'll get used to it very easily. Java is not at all difficult. It seems overwhelming, yes, but it is it is a really good language, and I love Java. You'll also love it if you try to understand it. It is made really well. So let's create a main function. Public static void main string args. So I created a main function. Now these words like public, static, void, main is the name of the function, that is the main function. And so these keywords public, static, void, this string and this square bracket and then args. What does this mean? I cannot explain it to you right now because first I'll try to make you get used to the Java programming in general so that you understand first of all understand how to write code within it. You understand the basic structure, you get used to the structure, and then after that I will try to tell you what these keywords mean. So we have a class. Within that class we have a main function, and let's try to write the code that prints hello world on the screen. So to print stuff on the screen we use system dot out dot print. Okay, let's say hello world. Cool. And of course semicolon. For people who are familiar with C++, they know we have to end the statements in semicolon. For people who are familiar with languages like Python, they usually do not put a semicolon. They do not put a semicolon. But remember, in Java and C++, we have to end the statements with the semicolon. Okay. So we have created a program. It is a simple program and it is complete. The class name is hello. We have a main function. The main function is what the compiler first looks for to execute the code. So we have a main function. Within that main function, we have a simple one-liner that says system.out.print hello world, which will print hello world on the screen. So we have created a .java file that will print hello world. Let's try to save it. We save the file. Okay. Now remember I said something about a .java file converted into a .class file. So for that we have to have the Java compiler installed, and hopefully you have installed it if you are learning Java. And if you haven't, don't worry, it is very easy. You have to download the Java development kit, and then you have to install it, and then you have to set the environment and path variables. There are millions of not millions, but there are hundreds of YouTube tutorials on it. Just watch those. It's very easy. Now we have a .java file that will print hello world on the screen. Let's try to compile it. Yeah. So we have to open a command prompt or PowerShell or whatever you are using. Terminal for Linux and Mac. So yeah. So Shift plus mouse right click, and you get an option here. Open PowerShell window here. So what this will do, what shift plus left click or right click, shift plus right click does it, that it opens the PowerShell or command prompt window right in that folder. Okay, so you see I have my Windows PowerShell and it is open C/user/web/desktop/java tutorial/hello world. Cool. So within this folder, I have the .java file. So you can see I have already installed the Java compiler, Java C. Yeah. And I've also installed Java. So to compile this program into a .class file, we use something like Java C hello.java. Nice. Java C hello.java. Let's press enter. Okay. Let's check our folder right now. And you see, we have the hello.java file, the Java source file that we created. And now we have a different file that is a class file, hello.class. So this is the class file that I was talking about. If we try to open this file, you won't understand anything because this is the byte code. Okay. Java converts the .java file into something in our source code into something called as a bytecode that only Java can understand. So yeah, you will understand whatever whatever is written here. Let's skip it. So we have the .java file. We also have the .class file. That means the program is compiled without any errors. If there are any errors, it should be shown in that step. So yeah, if there are any errors, try to see what I have done here. Try to see what I've done here and see if you have missed anything. Yeah. So we have now we just need to run this program. So for that the command is Java and now the class name. Class name is what? Hello. Nice. Let's press enter. And you see, I have something written as hello world. This is nice. So the program actually runs successfully. So yes, I think this is enough for today. As we created a class file, created a main function, and then we print system.out.print hello world. I hope this makes sense. And then we ran it using the commands Java C. Java C uses a Java compiler, Java to compile the hello.java file. Then it created a class file, and then we ran that class file by using the by using Java space hello. Here, hello is the class file name. Let me show you something else. Um, what if I change the name here? Let's change it to hello world. Okay, let's save this. So I have the file hello.java, but here the class name is different. It is not the same as the file name. Yeah, let's try to run this. Okay, first of all, let's clear this. Okay, Java C hello.java. Now remember, inside this hello java file, inside this hello.java file, I have a class that is called hello world. It is not the same as the file name. Okay, let's press enter. Okay, let's press enter and see it ran successfully. It gave no errors. Okay, now let's check a folder and you see we have a different class file that is called hello world. So you see, it is not compulsory that we have to name a class that we have to name a class with the same name as the .java file, but it is a convention. If you do not name the same, it will just create the class file with the name that you mentioned, like I mentioned hello world here, and it gave me a class that is called hello world. This is a previous file. This is the new file. You can see it's created at 855. It's created at 858. Now it will give us the same result. So if I say something like Java hello world, that is the name of a new class file. Yeah, it gives the same result, hello world. I hope that makes sense. If you have any doubts, please ask. And here's where I end this video. Thank you.